Greetings from Seoul, Korea, and welcome to the GSL Code S. Peace and Artosis here. We just finished up Lunar New Year, so Happy New Year to you. We had a little bit of time off there, and yesterday we had some very sad news from yesterday, Artosis.
What?
Our nerds.
Yeah.
Our nerds.
Our
You're like, oh my God, what?
I was actually really nervous. I'm like, what happened?
What did you call me for this?
Yeah,
our Hydra got a beat down.
Yeah, he's out of Code A, so
Yes,
is Huck, unfortunately.
yes.
But you know what? Sen made it. He made
That's
it.
true.
He's still in Code A.
That's true.
He'll be in Code A next season. He's still in Code A. He's still in the running. Maybe he can get back to Code S. I don't know, man. Sen is a great player.
He's got a lot of potential. He has shown already so much success in esports history, but I think he could get to Code S.
You know
I hope
who
he
else
does.
went to Code A, to Code B? Clyde.
Oh, that's
Clyde
right.
was tied with Nada.
That's actually so sad that I blocked that out of my memory.
Yeah, he's still been in more Code S than almost everyone else put together. But
it's just insane.
Now he's in Code B, and so's Lucira. It's like, whoa, what a turnover rate, man.
And it's amazing to see who's been moving on, who hasn't been. And I also want you guys to get online and go to the prediction part of our webpage where you can predict and see who will actually move on in this tournament, because I almost feel like nobody can really with certainty say who's going to stay on top anymore and who's not, except for maybe MVP. Nesty. But, I mean, that's it. That's it.
No, man, I say it with complete certainty. You know what? Forget that, Tasteless. I'm not going to dance around this subject. MVP, DRG, Nesty, Genius, MMA. There you go.
But I wonder, though, in 6 months.
And Supernova.
I wonder if in 6 months all those people will still be here. I mean,
yes.
It's so tough. It's so tough to stay in Code S.
It is. It's ridiculous, man. Code S, like, this whole tournament is just so ripped, man. This is like the muscliest tournament in the whole world.
No kidding.
It's like that tournament that you're like, you have to be taking steroids.
Otherwise, you just can't even compete. We're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the players that we're going to be introducing today. And we'll get that on screen for you guys now. Today's matchups. Our first player is going to be MVP, followed by GuMiho, Curious, and finally Alive. Pretty Terran heavy group today. Our first player, the best StarCraft 2 player in the world, hands down, ranked number 1 here in the GSL, the Game Genie Terran MVP. Moving on here.
With a very sloppy but macro-intensive multitasking style, it is GuMiho. And then we have StarTale's Curious. Zerg, they put a lot of stock in for a very long time. And only one matchup to play in this group.
Not a lot of Zergs left in the Code S right now. It's been a lot of Zerg players. Really hoping he moves on.
True that.
And, of course, the player who I would say is one of our more consistent players we have alive.
And, of course, he just got picked up by Fnatic. Congratulations to them. A great pickup indeed. A very talented player.
Yeah.
We're going to show you the rest of it from very far away.
Yes, this is the GSL Code S. No other esports event in the world can compare as far as competition goes. This is where all the best StarCraft players in the world compete to really show who's the best. And of course, MVP, not surprising, is Yanni, because it is boring killing nerds all day.
It gets boring, man. Anything can become repetitive.
Yep. Saying I just wish a nerd would own me, but I guess it's not possible.
Bread bakers get bored of baking bread, and MVP gets bored of destroying nerds.
Of baking nerds.
That's that too.
Making them into nerd pies.
A nerd meat pie.
That's right. Well, depending on how skinny that nerd is, some nerds.
This one could be chewy. This has got GuMiho.
Could be
GuMiho.
I
messed that up.
That's cute. All right, so get ready, guys. Head-to-head, MVP, the best player in the world. Can GuMiho, overcome him? We're going to find out soon here in the GSL Code S. We're off to a rough start. We're having a hard time getting our words out. We've
been off
rusty,
air for a while, Tasteless.
Thank you to our sponsor, Hot 6. Now, moving on to this game. In the upper right, we have our Terran player. His ID is... I am MVP. MVP.
Got that mouth open.
His mouth is always open. It's like a baleen whale catching shrimp nerds.
Yeah, that's right, man. He's going to push them out through his baleen.
If you notice, the more he plays, the more open his mouth gets. Now here, we just had up on screen, some of his previous match history. Now going on to his opponent, the underdog here, Can he manage to take down MVP? His ID is FXO GuMiho. GuMiho. Will he be caught? That is actually MVP's new nickname.
The Baleen Nerd.
The Baleen Nerd. He catches. That's actually not even my joke. I'll actually give that joke credit. Wolf came up with that joke.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
It's like he told me that. I had tears in my eyes. It was so funny.
And I gotta say, let's say that for some reason the studio flash froze or the whole Earth flash froze or something like that, and he was frozen like that. Of course, I wouldn't freeze. I'm a flying man. But
right.
I would take him and put him at, because now I basically run the world because there's nothing left, but I'd put him at a miniature golf place because I swear when I see him like that, I feel like I want to clean my golf ball in his mouth.
Oh, man. There's so many funny things you could do with the faces that pro gamers make when they're playing. I really actually wonder what I look like when I'm playing, other than I have the sickest nerd back imaginable. Now, looks like MVP's SCV has gotten inside of GuMiho's base. And take a look at these stats, Artosis. 48% for MVP. Not surprising, to be totally honest.
Yeah.
Not a shocker. GuMiho at 7.5. I think for this group, that's also not surprising.
Yeah, I got to say, I think GuMiho is the long shot to come out of here.
Yep.
He is a very good player. There's no question about it. But, he's got a style that I think turned a lot of people off because it's so sloppy looking. But it's cool. It's good. He gets a lot of units. He attacks everywhere at once. And a lot of players fall apart for that. Thing is MVP going to fall apart for that? No. Silly question.
How silly of me for asking that.
Yeah, I can't believe you would ask a silly question like that.
No, the weird thing about watching GuMiho play is that you can see that he's doing so much at once, but he's not really interested in being perfect in any one of those areas. He's just like a giant machine keeping the ball rolling.
Well, it's impossible to be perfect in all those areas.
As you can see here. Yeah, it's true. I mean, he is the Game Genie Terran, the Baleen Nerd. As you can see in the match history here, MVP much more successful than GuMiho. And that's me saying that modestly.
Wow. Pretty sick.
Oh, the SCV got the Marine. That's unusual.
All right. So, a little bit of pressure from GuMiho. MVP will be fine, though. Just waiting for some more Marines to pop out.
All right, Hellion's on the way now.
Nice Micro by MVP.
Oh, beautiful. Coming in from all these different angles to wipe out that aggression by GuMiho.
Flanking 2 Marines to 3 Marines, MVP. Always a step ahead.
Yep.
This is kind of interesting. We have Reactor Hellion opening by GuMiho into Expand, whereas MVP has gone a gasless command center into Factory, into Starport now, and that Starport most likely will be for Banshee because he did double gas, but he is getting a reactor on that barracks. Now, will that be for some additional Marines?
He's going to get here. He's going to get there before the SCD finishes.
Ooh, that's an annoying thing for him.
That's actually pretty huge, because you really can't get SCDs over there easily to repair that. Yeah, so now that bunker is no longer there for defense. It's there to just kind of block off the Hellions from getting into the main.
That's right, but he does have a Hellion of his own popping out, and that's going to help him significantly in trying to get this all set. He can let that Hellion die. The Hellion doesn't matter so much. He just wants the bunker up. Can he?
Yeah!
Oh! Just gets it in.
Damn. Wow.
White.
I actually didn't think he was going to manage to finish it there. I thought he was going to get sniped. So, GuMiho is holding his own so far.
Yeah, he's doing
He
fine.
absolutely is. He's doing a good job.
He is up in supply. He's made a few more units and whatnot. He is making a Banshee. But MVP is keen to this. He's already making a Viking. There's no cloak on the way, so the Banshee actually not going to do anything against the Viking, the defensive Viking of MVP. And MVP just kind of going Reactor Hellions right now. This is interesting. Will he be going for a mech build? Or is he just going to get some Reactor Hellions, maybe for a medevac, and then switch into Biotank?
All right, so we see the Viking out here now. It is in position to potentially intercept the Banshee. Now we'll see. It's gonna be close. And yes, he does spot it.
Down goes the Banshee, man, and that's too bad. He's now made a Banshee, and that Banshee not really going to do very much. Looks like it will get away. The micro of MVP not quite quick enough there.
I have to say it's a bit peculiar to see him get cloaked as the Banshee would arrive at the base.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean?
It's definitely a weird cloak timing. And that leads me to believe that GuMiho very likely is going to go mech this game just because Cloaked Banshees are good all game long with mech, but if you're going bio, not as much. So I would not be surprised if we saw that.
I don't know if GuMiho should be engaging here, but then again, GuMiho actually getting a better angle than MVP.
Indeed he is, and it looks like MVP
those
might be in some trouble. Losing SCVs left and right, some mules as well. And as you said, he did have to land his Vikings, and finally MVP will clean this up.
Yeah, how many workers were killed there, Artosis?
8.
Damn.
8 SCVs have been killed. And in fact, GuMiho has 40 SCVs to the 27 of MVP, and that is huge, man. By the way, it looks like both players going to go mech. Very exciting stuff here. And
looks like now MVP's going to try to come in and make us some swipes of his own, and he does back out there saying, well, I probably would not have won that, and he wouldn't have.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have, guys, for the record.
Yeah, I know, he wouldn't have won that, guys.
He would not have. All right, here comes the Banshee. Now come inside of MVP's main, hitting some SCVs. It doesn't look like there's anything readily available to deal with the Banshee. In fact, 2 Cloaked Banshees now. He does bring the Vikings over, but I don't see a scan yet.
Well, he doesn't have any energy for a scan yet. In
no!
fact, he's a long way from energy for a scan, and in fact, this is going to give GuMiho a gigantic lead. The engineering bay not even half done, losing basically every SCV. He is in so much trouble. Already 20 SCVs gone down, and I don't know if there's any possibility for him to come back from this, Tasteless.
I think this might be the killing blow here.
Yeah.
I mean, MVP will probably stay in the game a little bit longer because it's MVP. Now, he does get one Banshee, that's great, but the other Banshee's still alive, now killing more and more and more SCVs.
In fact, he scanned there when that Banshee was at 2 energy left. This Banshee, plenty of energy, and another one comes in.
Oh my god.
And he might actually just GG pretty soon here.
Yeah.
There's actually no reason for him to remain in this game. This is not a winnable scenario. It doesn't matter what GuMiho's doing.
Well, this is now GuMiho's game to lose.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. Now this Banshee, it's crazy by that. He's got to stay away from that turret.
All right, so a little free Banshee that time for MVP, but...
All right, if this is 11 SCVs to 50.
31 workers killed. 31 supply to 96 is over 3 times the supply for GuMiho. Wow. Wowzers. You guys were so wrong on your bets. You bunch of fools.
I bet anybody who was super confident MVP couldn't be beaten feels foolish now. Honestly, it's going to be almost impossible for GuMiho to lose this.
GuMiho's about to just come over and win. Watch this. Blue Flame's about to finish. He has a bajillion Hellions.
I think he was hoping there was going to be SCVs back there.
Yeah, there's not enough SCVs to even have them out there, so... Oh well. You know, that's... Well, here we go. We'll talk about it in a moment. Both players have their blue flames.
All right, he needs to make all his Hellions come down together, and I think we're going to see a GG.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't imagine this game going any way. This is a situation where Hellions will, yes, in fact, beat a bunker.
That's right, man. Hellions kill
I hope you guys were sitting down when you saw that.
Well, MVP so much in trouble. 25 supply to 107. Now it's over 4 times the lead for GuMiho. Pretty insane. GuMiho can just make units and attack at his leisure. You like leisure or leisure?
Leisure. I prefer leisure. Leisure, actually.
I think you have to have a British accent to say leisure.
Or you have to be a douche. It's one of those two things.
Yeah, you might be right on that.
All right, so the push is now coming up. Basically, GuMiho is looking at the situation. He's saying, well, I don't think, actually, there's any way that I can be stopped if I push him. His unit count is low. I have siege tanks. Siege mode is almost done. So I believe we're going to see him move in here, go for this attack. Now, the tank can do very well against the Vikings on the ground. In fact, this is not even a game of micro. This is a game of math now. GG. GG.
Careful, Tasteless. You might lose some viewers there. Tell them it's a game of math. They're like, oh, math game? Ew! And they exit off. Well, I was already at school today.
This is the good kind of math. It's not like the normal math homework I got in score. I look at that and I'm like, no way am I going to do this worksheet. Now, I think right now GuMiho probably...
If MVP is traveling at the speed of Banshee towards GuMiho, and GuMiho is traveling at the speed of Hellion towards MVP, and the map has told him to alter cross spots, when does ownage occur? That's good math right there.
I would say that would probably be in, under 5 minutes. We have the game started.
Right around the time a Zerg takes his third against a quick expanding Protoss is the answer, Tasteless. Thank you, though.
No, bro.
All right, so, GuMiho getting that cloak at kind of a peculiar timing. Here's the thing. MVP, he shoots away that first Banshee, and he's like, all right, you're not getting cloak.
Actually, yeah, that's so smart.
So he gets cloak and then just kills him.
Yeah, because we touched on this earlier, where
that's a very deep.
Now, I don't know if that was part of his strategy or not. I mean, I still don't necessarily agree with him doing that, but it is interesting because the Banshee turned around, and that MVP just thought, okay, well, the Banshee threat is done. Yeah. He would have cloaked instantly when I shot at him otherwise. And then all of a sudden there are 3 cloaked Banshees killing off over 30 SCVs.
Yeah, it was a peculiar cloak timing, and that's really what did MVP in completely, even though he had already taken some damage. Well, the next map is going to be Daybreak, chosen by Mr. MVP. A big map, that's what he wants. The bigger the map, the longer the game,
space.
The more likely MVP is to win.
All right, note that there is a cloth over GuMiho's hand. GuMiho's hands sweat a lot.
The towel tearing.
Yeah, the towel tearing. Ooh, I like that, the towel tearing.
Yeah,
that's good.
No, that's official. At a qualifier, and because he was playing with the towel over it at a qualifier.
The Bailey nerd against the towel tearing.
Is that towel big enough to soak up the ocean? Or will MVP squirt this nerd out?
We're going to find out. So get ready for game number 2 with MVP against GuMiho.